dominated the world have used money to rule it and have ruled it in their own interest. It looks at a world economic system that has no regard for the poor, that has no regard for the small nations, that has no regard for the poor of the small nations. And the policy is a dignified policy, is not a violent policy, is not a policy of guns. It's a very honorable policy, but it is a very clear policy. It is a policy that calls the poor of the world to stand together, to stand firm together, to struggle together, to struggle for change, to struggle for justice, to struggle through organization, to struggle through will, to struggle through determination, to struggle to build a new kind of world in which your children and mine will walk with more dignity, with better housing, with better opportunity, with better prices, with better response from the World Monetary System. That is the world to which I call you. That is the world for which I struggle, and no power will turn me back from that world. And comrades, if you go and walk with me, if you go and step with me, if you go and move with me, we're moving as warriors. We're moving in determination. We're moving to struggle. We're moving to change that world. No power will turn us back.
Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green, dog. Me no chow chow. No. Ha 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 ho ho. Who ya know?
But if change is what we really want to see, ladies and gentlemen, then we must rise up. We must unite. We must advocate. We cannot remain silent. Where are the young men, the young women, the men, the women, the boys, the girls who will put aside political divide and do what is best for Jamaica? Eternal Father, bless our land. Guide us with thy mighty hand. Keep us free from evil powers. Be our light through countless hours. Even our pledge, our national pledge, says before God and all mankind, we cannot see a better Jamaica unless we return to the foot of the cross. Jamaica under God must increase in beauty, fellowship and prosperity, and play our part.
If I lived in China or even Russia or any totalitarian country, maybe I could understand some of these illegal injunctions. Maybe I could understand the denial of certain basic First Amendment privileges because they haven't committed themselves to that over there. But somewhere I read of the freedom of assembly. Somewhere I read of the freedom of speech. Somewhere I read of the freedom of press. Somewhere I read that the greatness of America is the right to protest far right. And so just as I say we aren't going to let any dogs or water hoses turn us around, we aren't going to let any injunction turn us around. Well, I don't know what will happen now. We've got some difficult days ahead. But it really doesn't matter with me now because I've been to the mountaintop. Like anybody, I would like to live a long life. Longevity has its place. But I'm not concerned about that now. I just want to do God's will. And he's allowed me to go up to the mountain. And I've looked over and I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm happy tonight. I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
I said I'm happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his hand. Yes, mommy, I see you. Yes, the journey is almost over. Shut up. And the battle is nearly won. And I have a feeling. I have a feeling in my heart. The best is yet to come. Fly it over there, so wanna ready to get get up now, man. Get up now, man. I feel mad in this place. Let's go. I am happy every day as I travel through this land. I've been mighty blessed by God, and I'm holding to his. Over there, so I said the journey's almost over. I know the battle is nearly won, and I have a feeling in my heart the best is yet. Come on, church. I said the best is yet to come. When I walk through heaven's gates, yeah, I said the first time I'll see Jesus, I can hardly wait. And he showed me to a mansion and said, child, this is your home. And I have a feeling in my heart. You know this one? Listen, shut. Tell me.
Oh, you know. I want to hear the angels singing. I want to be in that number. I want to hear that trumpet song. We have done now. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear archangel. Oh, I want to hear when my name is called. I want to hear. Everybody know. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. I want to hear. Watch out now. I want to see the angel marching. I want to be in that number. I want to hear. I want to hear that trumpet song. I want to hear archangel voice. I want to hear. God bless you now. I want to hear. When my name is called, I want to hear. Everybody listen. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be here. Get something and wave it. Get something and wave it. Get something out. If I'm not living for Christ, then I cannot be happy. Walk out, Christian, walk out, Christian. I only live my life to please. Send me rocking for the rope and the star on my phone. I only live my life to please. Live up my life. Come on, we have done, man. Everybody so. Live up my life. Lift it, Jesus. This is silent night. What a holy night. But your virgin mother and child. Holy, so tender. Talk to me now. But sweetly, God bless you, God bless you. Let me tell some people, I know one prayer we pray.
Blood and fire, comrades who are in jungle tonight. On the nose that the word is love. Comrades, me come with a speech, but it's a different speech me have to give tonight. But before I go into that, we have been saying all night that young people know say time come. And I want to bring up a young man who has looked for himself, him read for himself, him search for himself, and when him done, him realize that the only choice he could choose is the People's National Party. And I want to welcome Comrade Perry.
Hold on. We don't have much time. When I say time, you say come. Time. Senator Murray, somebody asked me, Perry, why aren't you a Labourite? Me ever fresh, me no green.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho. Who ya know? Underpants, Paolo. We the gal in the
Hold on, cut in, man. Hold on.
Me coulda never green.
Hold on, no DJ, man. Hold on. I don't have much time. The next Prime Minister, let me shake your hand, so big up yourself, Mark Golin, Jensek, and brother, Dayton Campbell Doctor. Listen, in 1938, the People's National Party was formed out of the vision to help the poor people. It was born out of restlessness of the people seeking for better. And I believe that the People's National Party continues to be the answer for the people. Can I hear an amen? Hold on. In 1995, under the auspices of PJ Patson, the most honorable, there was a revitalization and an extension of the new National Youth Service Program, which gave young people the opportunity to earn commandment church. It gave people the opportunity to better themselves. I don't have much time, but hear what? I hear the other people them say, you must choose Jamaica, but you can't choose Jamaica without choosing the people. God bless you.
Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow. No. Ha, ho. Me coulda never green dog, me no chow-chow.
You have your blood, comrades.
Comrades, I want to let you know that young man is the former guild president at the University of the West Indies. That is the kind of young people that we attract in the People's National Party.
A corrupt government cannot liberate the people. If the head of the stream is corrupt, the entire river will be also. I do not support corruption. Corruption takes money away from children's education. It deprives hospitals of basic necessities. It means that roads are not fixed. Corruption deepens inequality. It siphons off taxpayers' money to make a few cronies richer with the political connections instead of benefiting the people. This government has been doing everything it can to weaken and undermine the Integrity Commission, which is an institution that I designed as Minister of Justice and brought the legislation to Parliament to fight corruption in this country. I have said it before and I will tell you again. Jamaica cannot move forward without a government built on integrity that embraces principles of good governance in this country.
Where you with the JLP are going with Perspective family. Big up yourself. Blood and fire comrades. I and I is asking for a change. We have to mash down Babylon, time come now. Andrew them a wrap up the money like wow. Them turn taxpayers in a big cash cow. The people them work for nothing, big fiasco. Time come for people fi start unite. Time come fi protect the human right. Time come JLP no have no plan. The plan is to kill, destroy, steal and rob. The devil is loose, my friend, and he loves the color green. Hey, yeah. Don't be blind, my friend. Open up your eyes and see. Lightning and thunder for the JLP. Oh. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust for people I go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now walk it, the youth them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg is hamping. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust for people I go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now war fit the youth, them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg you stop it. Perspective with Perry Cummings Jr. Big up yourself. The best is yet to come. This is my perspective. Telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel me objective. Scandal after scandal. Look where Jamaica come to. Them a rob the money and a thief a lot too. Election tactics, what a disgrace. Them cut off ribbon and the place no safe. It's a prime minister, are you me a address? Police a kill off the youth if you check. Talking about the way country are the best. But though this a my perspective, telling you my perspective. This is my perspective to bring change that I feel.
Greetings, greetings, greetings to you one and all. Good afternoon, good evening, good night. Certainly not good morning though. But greetings to my Perspective family. As you join, remember to like the live if you're watching and you've not yet subscribed. Please to do so. I'm very excited to be with you here one more time. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling? How are you feeling, ladies and gentlemen? Just doing a checkup. On my viewers tonight before we get the show on the road. We have a few things to touch on. And I hope we can appreciate that I cannot do it without you, the viewers. I want to appreciate all the viewers, those who continue to like, those who continue to share the platform to get others to subscribe, those who continue to support financially. I appreciate you all. I will never take it for granted. Yeah, I'll never take it for granted. So thank you so much for your unwavering support. I believe in my heart that the best is yet to come. I believe in my heart that the best is yet to come. There's a song that we used to sing growing up. I'm going to see if I can find the lyrics for you. I'm not sure if anybody knows it. Here's the lyrics for it. I'm going to do a song. The chorus is well, it was popular growing up. I'm going to do the chorus. I think it's such a fitting song for my supporters tonight. Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen. We'll soon do the roll call, but I think it's such a fitting song. As a child growing up, this is what we would sing. The song says, "You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Together we will work until he comes. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. So long as there is love, we will stand." Anybody know that song? You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. Together we will work until he comes. There's no foe that can defeat us when we're walking side by side. As long as there is love, we will stand. And you know we say the word is love over here. You're my brother, you're my sister, so take me by the hand. If we unite, ladies and gentlemen, no foe can defeat us. If we unite, absolutely no foe can defeat us. Somebody says the first they're hearing that song. Okay, let me put you on to it. The artist is Ray Boltz. Ray Boltz is he was a popular, I'm not sure if he's even still alive, I don't think so. But Ray Boltz is one of those legendary gospel artists. He gave us the classics. So type in Ray Boltz, and if you get to him, you just type in Ray Boltz, we will stand. You have some wonderful song from Ray Boltz. It is the same guy that sing the Anchor Holds. Anybody know that one? Yeah, man. I have journeyed through, I don't remember the tune, through the long and dark night, out upon the open sea. By faith alone, sight unknown, and yet my eyes are watching me. I know the chorus. The anchor holds. Same guy that sing the one I was singing before. Though the ship is battered, the anchor holds. Though the sails are torn, I have fallen, my God, on my knees as I faced the raging seas. The anchor holds. In spite of the storm. Just one more time and we do roll call. The anchor holds. My God. Though the ship is battered. Mighty God of Daniel. The anchor holds. Though the sails are torn. On my knees as I face the raging seas, the anchor holds in spite of the storm. Ladies and gentlemen, the ship is indeed battered, you know. The ship is indeed battered. The sails are indeed torn. And some may say, some of the leaders that we have at the wheel, they are not making the situation any better. But there is an anchor that holds. Something else. The Wi-Fi wouldn't go here and come back. Huh? But we have to sing praises unto God. Blessings, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get into the show. Let me know where you're viewing from, because we have quite a lot to touch on. I'm going to try and make it as concise as possible. I'm going to make it as concise as possible, but we do have a lot to touch on tonight. New Jersey, Queens, New York, Mona, blessings, New Jersey. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into it. Silo, St. Elizabeth, Burlington, Canada. Southfield, St. Elizabeth, Charlestown, North Carolina, Loyalsville, St. Catherine, Delaware. Come on in. Mountain View, Virginia, Listowel, Ontario, Canada, Curacao, Portland East, St. Ignace, Michigan. My God, Mapen, Clarendon, Philadelphia, Jonesboro, GA. Come on in. St. Elizabeth, Montchnillis, Portland, Santa Cruz, St. Best. My God. Westmoreland, Philadelphia, South St. Catherine, Westmoreland. For me place that same way. Come on in, Florida. Yes, 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 yes. We're excited, ladies and gentlemen, to get. Remember to like up the live, subscribe. Florida again, Kingston 8, Bogwalk, Pickering, Canada, pick. I'm going pick at the labor rights tonight. Them not like me, you know. New York, Atlanta, Georgia. Come on in, ladies and gentlemen. Let us get the live to 500 likes as per usual. UK, Burnham, Manchester, St. Martin, Crooked River, Clarendon. You know how it go, ladies and gentlemen. Pennington, Loidas Vale, and Doreen Bennett is watching from East Portland. Very excited to be with you here on another episode of The Perspective. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I could start this program many ways tonight. Well, we started it with reminding each and every one that our anchor must hold and grip the solid rock. But there was a solid presentation in Parliament today. Can we just say well done to Mr. Omar Newell? Anybody was watching Parliament today? The sitting of the House of Representatives sectorial debate? Anybody watched it? Blessings to Toronto, Edgewater in the building. Blessings, none such East Portland. Remember that Omar Newell was one of our guests right here on The Perspective, did an awesome job here, and I am so happy. I'm so happy. I have to play Mr. Omar Newell's presentation. We've played other MPs. It was brilliant. Spot on. Solid as a rock. Mighty God. Yes, the sectorial debate was today. I believe Ambassador Andrew Marks gave her presentation and Omar Newell gave his. And my God, what a piece of fire that was blazed in Parliament. Cherry East Portland, blessings. I'm telling you, I was so impressed. For the benefit of those who didn't watch it and for those who will be watching our broadcast afterward, I will show you guys the presentation done by Mr. Newell. Mighty God of Daniel. Pandemonium was a wonderful debate. Wonderful presentation. Listen, I am just appealing to Jamaicans. Give PNP a chance. You see what is happening. Listen, me start campaign early for PNP, you know. I'm not going to sit down and allow the JLP to be campaigning while Lola will sit down. Listen, start rallying the people from now. You see what is happening around you. Even some of you labor rights are speaking to your conscience. If you still have a conscience, look and see what is happening. This government does not care about you. Somebody said police box man in St. Anthony allegedly. I hear another life gone. Ladies and gentlemen, give the People's National Party a chance at the wicket. When you listen to the presentations, greetings Debbie Miller, when you look at the policies and the plans, when you look at what the PNP represents, which is integrity, honesty, representing the people, we need to give the PNP a chance at the wicket. I believe in Mr. Mark Golding and his team. Don't vote JLP and come ball after like many of you are crying. Let me just play this video before I don't know if I'm gonna play that video yet. Later we will talk about we'll address labor rights. Let us listen to Mr. Omar Newell's sectorial presentation, ladies and gentlemen.
Remember, you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Permission to speak from a seat other than my own. And without my voices, I guess I need permission to speak with a voice other than my own.
Permission granted.
Mr. Speaker, I rise today to make my inaugural contribution to these sectoral debates in my capacities as the Member of Parliament for St. Mary Central and the Shadow Minister for Environment and Climate Resilience. These are responsibilities I do not take lightly, because when we speak about the environment, Mr. Speaker, we're not speaking merely about trees and rivers. We're speaking about whether our children can drink clean water, whether our farmers can survive the next drought, whether a family can ensure the home they use their life's work to build, whether fisher folk in places like Padgy and Robbins Bay can still make a living from the sea, whether our people will still be able to access the beaches their grandparents once walked on freely. Can survive stronger storms, collapsing roads, rising heat, and worsening flooding. The environment is not separate from the economy, Mr. Speaker. The environment is the economy. Tourism depends on it. Agriculture depends on it. Water security depends on it. Public health depends on it. National security depends on it. And so today, I intend to speak not merely as a parliamentarian, but as a Jamaican deeply concerned about the future we are leaving behind for future generations, including my own 11-year-old. I also rise with gratitude, Mr. Speaker. I thank God Almighty for the strength, courage, and energy He has given me to take on the many challenges that come along with these roles. I thank Opposition Leader Mark Golding for taking a chance on a young emerging leader like myself and placing me in this shadow cabinet. I thank the people of St. Mary Central for the confidence they have placed in me in electing me as their Member of Parliament. I take this responsibility seriously, Mr. Speaker, and commit to using every ounce of energy to ensure our Central St. Mary is a model constituency. I want to salute former Member of Parliament for St. Mary Central, my friend, Dr. Maurice Guy. Maurice has not only been my Member of Parliament, he was my family doctor growing up. He was the chairman at St. Mary High School where I was a student, and he's the godfather of my son. His approach and personality ensured one of the smoothest transitions in our constituency. He stayed with us throughout and has continued to stay with us. I don't want to single out people, but I want to salute my aunt, who is sitting in also for my mother who was not able to make it. Auntie Iris, or Nurse Murray, is the former head of the Midwives Association of Jamaica. And some of the values instilled in me, the good ones, she can take credit for. I especially thank my 4 divisional leaders, Councillors Fife, Garvey, MacDonald, and Miss Silvera, for their continued support. I thank my constituency executive, my team, the many Jamaicans across this country, the activists, the scientists, the planners, the prayer warriors, the teachers, the farmers, the ordinary citizens who continue to raise me in prayer and to raise the alarm about the environmental challenges confronting Jamaica in their respective locales. Importantly, I thank my darling wife, Dr. Nordia Thompson Newell. Nordia has had opportunities to work all over the globe. She spent 2 years in Canada owning her craft, but she has dedicated her life to improving patient care and helping to train the next generation of medical professionals through advanced simulation and pediatric emergency medicine, even while supporting her growing family. Bang the desk, man. Make some nice, man. Mr. Speaker, across the world, climate change is no longer a future threat. It is here. The Caribbean is warming faster. Storms are becoming more destructive. Insurance costs are rising. Coastal erosion is worsening. Food systems are under pressure, and water systems are increasingly pressured. And despite it contributing nothing almost to global emissions, small island developing states like Jamaica stand among the most vulnerable nations on this earth. Yet even in this moment of danger, their opportunity lies. There's an opportunity to rethink how we build, how we plan, how we enforce, how we protect, and how we govern. That's right. And most importantly, an opportunity to decide whether environmental protection in Jamaica will belong only to the privileged or whether environmental justice will belong to all. Mr. Speaker, the government speaks about resilience, but resilience is not measured by speeches only. It is measured by delivery. It is measured by whether promises become policy, whether policies become law, whether law becomes enforcement, and whether enforcement changes lives. Because that is what we are here to send. We're sent to. And that is where, Mr. Speaker, this administration struggles. Mr. Speaker, few issues capture environmental inequality in this country more clearly than beach access. It is to our national shame, Mr. Speaker, that less than 1% of this natural resource can be freely accessed by our people. For years, Jamaicans have watched large portions of our coastline become increasingly inaccessible. First, they encounter the security guards. Then they go into the gated developments, the hotel corridors, the blocked pathways, and the disappearing fishing access. An island nation surrounded by the sea, where many citizens feel alienated from the sea itself. The government has finally tabled a beach access and management policy. And while I welcome the acknowledgement that a problem exists, the policy does not go far enough to address this problem. Because the policy still approaches beach access as a managed permission rather than a fundamental public right. Mr. Speaker, a beach cannot merely belong to those who can afford a room key or a day pass. Our coastline is part of our natural and our national inheritance. In countries across the region and the wider world, governments increasingly recognize that coastlines are held in trust for their people. But here in Jamaica, the land of wood and water, the average citizen increasingly feels like a visitor in their own country. The government boasts about the number of public beaches, but Jamaicans seeing things different. How much coastline can ordinary people actually reach freely, safely, and affordably? Because access is not merely about counting beaches, it is about the dignity of our people. It is about whether a fisherman can launch his boat, whether a child can see the sea and play in the sand, whether a family can enjoy the natural beauty in their own country, Whether the man in Drapers who grew up with unfettered access to Blue Lagoon will still be able to access that facility for commercial and recreational activities. Mr. Speaker, the policy must go further. We need guaranteed public access corridors to all beaches. We need legal protection for traditional fishing communities. We need protection of public easements, national mapping of beach access points, limits on the privatization of coastlines, and modern legislation rooted in sustainable environmental justice. The objective, Mr. Speaker, must be free, unfettered access to all of Jamaica's beaches for all Jamaica's people, whether you live in Portland or you live in Montego Bay. Because beaches are not merely tourism assets. They're not merely tourism assets. They're a part of Jamaica's shared natural heritage. Jamaicans must not only live where others vacation, we must be able to enjoy our natural resources. Mr. Speaker, last year was an election year, and I hear my good friend talking about what is true and not. Let's talk about some truths. Several environmental groups came together and made their concerns known to both major political parties. And the minister made several promises in his 2025 sectorial presentation. Well, I have a list of the promises of the bills that were tabled and the policies that were laid on the paper in this House. And many of them remain incomplete and unfulfilled. We heard the environmental impact assessment regulation announced again this year after being announced last year. This old can has been kicked down the road for many years. Where's the wastewater and sludge regulations from 2025? Where are the strengthened air quality regulations? Where are the hazardous waste regulations? Where's the meaningful modernization of environmental enforcement? Too many announcements, too little execution. Mr. Speaker, while announcements are made and not kept, communities across Jamaica continue to face flooding, collapsing roads, poor drainage, blocked gullies, deforestation, and worsening environmental decline. Mr. Speaker, the next great global conflict may very well be over water. Yes. And Jamaica must take water security far more seriously. People want water. The condition of many watersheds is deeply concerning. Deforestation continues, river systems are under pressure, pollution threats continue to emerge, and increasingly, Mr. Speaker, we must take the conversation to include contaminants of emerging concern. Not merely traditional pollutants, but pharmaceutical waste, industrial chemicals, microplastics, agricultural runoff, and wastewater seepage. Environmental health is public health. We cannot claim to protect.
If you're just joining, ladies and gentlemen, remember to like up the live, share, subscribe. This is Omar Newell's inaugural sectorial presentation. We want to definitely broadcast that tonight, so we're listening to him. As soon as we're through listening to him, we'll take our first break, then we'll come back with other matters. All right, let us get back to Mr. Newell.
Speaker, while ignoring long-term groundwater quality. Mr. Speaker, water infrastructure resilience must become a national priority. Mr. Speaker, the collapse of roads and bridges during periods of heavy rainfall should remind us that climate resilience is not theoretical. It is physical. It affects whether ambulances can pass going about on emergencies, whether children can get to school, whether businesses can survive, whether communities become isolated. I want to speak briefly about solid waste, Mr. Speaker. Solid waste. Jamaica's solid waste challenge has become a major environmental and public health crisis. Plastic water clogs our drains. Plastic clogs our drains. Flooding worsens the situation. Communities suffer. And despite years of talk and anti-litter campaign, enforcement remains weak. The average Jamaican, Mr. Speaker, still sees indiscriminate dumping with little consequence. Poor collection schedules lead to increased instances of illegal dumping. Mr. Speaker, it is concerning the high volumes of municipal solid waste that makes its way into our gullies and our drains, oftentimes causing flooding and calls for action from the very residents who contributed to the problem. Environmental laws without enforcement become nothing more than mere public relations exercises. Mr. Speaker, we need stronger penalties. We need better enforcement coordination. We need better collection. We need more environmental wardens, modern waste separation systems, investment in recycling infrastructure, and greater producer responsibility. Because environmental responsibility cannot rest only on citizens while large-scale waste generators escape accountability. Let us begin the conversation about extended producer responsibility. Mr. Speaker, climate change is not only an environmental issue, it is a justice issue. Those who contribute least to global emissions often suffer the most. The poor, rural communities, our small farmers and fisher folk, and our inner city residents. And so climate resilience cannot become another privilege only available to wealthy communities. We must ensure that adaptation financing reaches ordinary people, Mr. Speaker. Jamaica must continue to aggressively pursue climate financing, but we must also improve domestic governance, because international financing increasingly depends on transparency, accountability, and implementation capacity. Integrity matters in international financing. And this is where, Mr. Speaker, we continue to face a challenge. So climate resilience, Mr. Speaker, must influence how we go about treating with our governance framework. It must influence road design, housing approvals, drainage systems, agriculture planning, insurance frameworks, infrastructure investment, and national budgeting. Every ministry should be required to demonstrate climate resilience outcomes every time they go with a budget line item. Because resilience cannot remain isolated inside one portfolio. It must become a whole of government framework. Mr. Speaker, Jamaicans are increasingly embracing renewable energy. Our families are investing in solar. Our businesses are investing in efficient energy systems, and electric vehicles are becoming more common. I'm the proud user of a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle myself, and solar at home makes the ride almost free. But the transition to renewed energy, Mr. Speaker, must be accessible to all. We need expanded incentives for renewable energy. We need more renewables on the grid, as my colleague from East Kingston and Port Royal spoke about. We need modernized grid infrastructure and policies that encourage energy independence while maintaining grid stability. The transition to cleaner energy should reduce inequality, not deepen it. Yes. Mr. Speaker, one of the most important reforms Jamaica must confront is environmental governance itself, because recent controversies have exposed structural weaknesses in the way environmental decisions are made in this country. I won't delve too much into the matter involving the 2020 mining permit, which was granted to Bengal Development Limited after the minister overturned an earlier decision made by the NRC. This is very ominous when you consider the recently passed NARA legislation, Mr. Speaker, which will pretty much legitimize this kind of action. And the question, Mr. Speaker,
Presenter, just a minute, please. Member, may I hear your
A live matter before the court. Mr. Speaker, yesterday, the leader of reflecting on a decision of a court of law or being likely to prejudice a case which is under trial, including a case tried by a court-martial before confirmation, or 35(3)(2), reference shall not be made, contents of speeches. Reference shall not be made to any matter on which a judicial decision is pending in such a way as, in the opinion of the chair, prejudice the interests of the parties thereto. Chairman, the member is well aware that when a matter is live before the court, it should not be the subject of speeches. And I'm asking you to rule the member as being out of order for doing that. That is my point of order.
Mr. Speaker, we have been abusing this issue about sub judice. This is the highest court of the land. And until we are told we are the highest court, the Parliament is. The Parliament is. There is nothing that the member has just said that in any way will violate any sub judice rule. There's nothing that he has said. Please allow the member to continue uninterrupted. Mr. Speaker, can you just enable the member to continue his presentation uninterrupted?
Members, if you wish for me to make a ruling, then you have to listen to yourself first so that you can listen to me. I'm going to ask I will ask the member, the presenter, to make sure that he limits himself to a situation that causes a conflict. I am going to allow you to continue.
Mr. Speaker, Rule 40 gives me the right to speak without unnecessary interruption. Yes. So if it causes controversy, the members on that side should govern themselves in accordance with Standing Order Rule 40. Mr. Speaker, the NARA, Mr. Speaker, I've already spoken about the concerns relating to the stepping rights provided under NARA.
Why Nestor don't shut up? Look at the state of our roads in this country, ladies and gentlemen, and he finds the time, the energy and the passion to get up in Parliament and talk about everything else but his portfolio. Where is your passion to ensure that the roads are fixed properly? You don't want to talk about your failing Spark, Reach, and Go programs. You don't want to talk about the fact that you are so clueless to what proper road infrastructure should look like. You had to fly to Peru with a contingent of 9 because you don't have a clue as to what a good road in Jamaica should look like. For 10 years now, our roads have been the worst in the history of this country. But you find the time to get up and interrupt the members' presentation. For what? You are a yes man, you're a puppet on a string, and God he knows what else the executive people in the JLP can do with you without any consequence. You're a disgrace. I will never forget when KD Knight embarrassed you in Parliament. You're a neophyte when it comes to politics. And one would think that being a minister now, you would have some knowledge of parliamentary proceedings. You're a neophyte, a political one. Disgrace. Anyways, Mr. Newell is almost through. We're going to take our first break soon, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for interrupting you, Mr. Newell. I had to address.
Which are ominously similar to what happened in the case mentioned. Yes. And the question before us, and before this House, Mr. Speaker, is larger than any one quarry, any one permit, or any one minister. The bigger question, Mr. Speaker, is can environmental science and technical expertise be overridden by political discretion without sufficiently transparent safeguards? No. Mr. Speaker, environmental regulation must not only be independent, it must be seen to be independent. And that is why I am again calling, Mr. Speaker, for us to move toward the creation of an independent environmental protection agency established by statute. This argument is not anti-development. It is not anti-investment. It is pro-transparency, pro-science, pro-accountability, Mr. Speaker, and pro-Jamaica. Because investors deserve certainty. Communities deserve fairness. And the country deserves confidence that environmental decisions are being made objectively and transparently. Mr. Speaker, NEPA cannot continue to appear trapped between environmental protection and developmental pressure. NEPA, which manages the NRCA, continues to sit in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development, even after environment and climate change has been given its own ministry. Yet planning, Mr. Speaker, and environment protection.
What is what? Hello, I consulted with the clerk. You saw the clerk standing a while ago. I consulted with the clerk. The case that was mentioned is still in the court. The appeal was filed just last week. No, I'm saying
Mr. Speaker.
Turn your mic on. Turn your mic. Turn your mic on. Turn yours off.
Mr. Speaker, from the initiation of the matter of Bengal in court, this Parliament has been commenting on it consistently. I have mentioned it in speeches here Others have. The matter has been recently decided by the court. If there is an appeal, let them call. Yes, it does not mean. But Mr. Speaker, it is unfair. It is unfair to interrupt the member. In this way, I think the member deserves an additional 5 minutes because yes.
Mr. Speaker, if you will permit me, the remit by which the member spoke on the case is not, it doesn't fall under sub judice. And the sub judice rule was never meant to restrict judges of the Court of Appeal nor the Privy Council. And so I will respectfully say the interpretation by the member is wholly inaccurate and is interrupting the member while he's speaking.
Is Hero Clark a lawyer? Is Mr. Clark a lawyer? Because I had to get up and he had to clarify the matter legally. Is Mr. Clark a lawyer? I am sure that ISAT is a lawyer, but I am not completely convinced that Mr. Hero Clark is one.
Huh? Them on fire, and if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say, pop, 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 pop. Lord God, badam, bam, bam, bam. Jesus Christ, what is what pop, 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 pop. Jesus Christ, war tonight, Bishop. Warfare tonight.
But this is the behavior of the JLP government. This is their behavior. They get up, interrupt the opposition. You don't hear anybody saying that it is wrong for Nestor Morgan to be interrupting a sectorial debate according to the standing orders. Omar Newell clarified it. You shouldn't be interrupting him. What Philip Paulwell stood up twice now. You don't hear anybody saying that the government members should refrain from interrupting the opposition. Because if the opposition members should take up the mace, should interrupt them, all of a sudden the PNP, they are hooligans and they are disrupting parliament and they are doing this and they are doing that. They have no regard for standing orders. You have no business interrupting Omar Newell while he is presenting a sectorial debate. Nobody interrupted RG Marks when she was presenting just before Omar Newell. So why is it that the same grace cannot be extended to the opposition? And then you are all misrepresenting the legalities of the situation. ISAT had to get up and clarify. The Benegal case have been mentioned in Parliament so many times. So what is so special now that Omar Newell is going to present? All of a sudden we have a problem.
Member, You are going to, you want to say something, member from Manchester?
Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as not a lawyer, but a legislator with 6 terms experience in this House, I don't believe you should seek legal advice from the clerk. It should be from the Parliamentary Council, who is properly authorized to give you advice on this matter.
Can I? Go on.
Look how the people interrupt the man presentation, ladies and gentlemen. Look how the people interrupt the man's presentation. I cannot believe this. Look how the people interrupt the man's presentation. Because of what? My God. This is just because Omar Newell is exposing the labor rights and how they have neglected our environment. They're privatizing all of our beaches so that their friends can benefit and they turn around and benefit. Ladies and gentlemen,
after consulting with the legal personnel from Parliament, I am ruling that the presenter is out of order at section 35, subsection 2. I'm going to ask you to retract and continue the presentation. I am ruling him out of order. So he must. The matter is before the court. That is my ruling, presenter.
You must also outline that evidence has been provided to you that there has been an appeal in the matter.
The evidence has been provided that the matter is in court at this time. Yes. I am.
Mr. Speaker, there is nothing that the member said earlier that would in any way prejudice the matter that is in court.
The legal personnel from Parliament, the legal person.
Mr.
Are you going to continue with the presentation or not?
Yes, he wants to continue.
And I'm saying I'm ruling him out of order.
No, you can't rule him out of order.
That is my decision. My decision is that I'm ruling the presenter out of order on the matter.
You cannot rule the... Mr. Speaker, can you allow the member to continue with his presentation? We're asking you to allow the member to continue with his presentation. Afterwards, we need a written legal opinion on this matter. We need a legal.
I
need to intervene. I need to intervene because it is clear that the opposition is abusing processes here. The member from South Manchester said that the clerk should not advise you, when it states in 5 that the clerk should advise the speaker. The standing order also says that the standing order also says that your ruling is final. But we have the leader of opposition business questioning your ruling. We cannot continue to allow the undermining of the standing orders in the House, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I am not sure what it is that you're asking the member to retract in his presentation, because the member said he will not delve into the matter. He will not delve into the matter. No. And all he did was to compare the matter to why he's concerned with the Naira. Yeah. That's all he did, and he moved on. So, so, Mr. Speaker, the advice that you got did not go far enough to tell you what he should retract. So we want to know if there is anything to be retracted. I humbly, no, members, Mr. Speaker, I would humbly ask you to just allow the member to continue his presentation. If it is that you are not satisfied that he should, then I think you should ask for Hansard. I think you should ask, no, Mr. Speaker, if you are to be balanced and fair, Mr. Speaker, I think that the legal advice that you got should ask for Hansard to show that the member never delved into the matter at all.
Ladies and gentlemen, look how the people interrupt Mr. Newell's presentation. A good presentation, you know. But these people, why that issue so touchy-feely? Why are you afraid of that?
Once again, I'm ruling that you continue your presentation, but remember and be reminded that making reference to a case in the court, I am going to rule you out of order again.
I don't remember which Prime Minister said Can't nobody take my stride. Mr. Speaker, planning and environmental protection must work together, but environmental regulation must not appear to be bogged down by economic considerations. And so I propose, Mr. Speaker, the modernization of the NRCA Act, the establishment of an independent environmental protection agency, a modern environmental permitting framework, mandatory publication of technical recommendations and decisions, mandatory publication of reasons for approvals and refusals, codified rights, appeal rights, statutory timeline for decisions, enhanced scientific monitoring capacity, stronger public participation rights, and the creation of a specialized environmental tribunal. Mr. Speaker, if Jamaica recognizes the need for independence in anti-corruption oversight, why would we not recognize the need for independence in environmental protection? Why should decisions capable of permanently affecting aquifers, forests, coastlines, and public health for this and future generations not benefit from similar institutional safeguards? And so I believe the governing board of this independent agency should be appointed through a transparent process similar in spirit to the Integrity Commission model. It must include, Mr. Speaker, broad stakeholder consultation, fixed qualification requirements, protection from arbitrary removal, and representation from environmental science, engineering, planning, law, climate science, and civil society. The minister talks a lot about having science lead the way in environmental policy and action. I support this. What better way to have science lead the way than to have permit appeals be overseen by a transparent, competent authority and not one political not the political directorate. Because a permit denial should never feel like a political obstacle. It should be a scientific determination respected unless transparently overturned through clearly defined legal safeguards. Mr. Speaker, relatedly, I want to raise the matter of Fort Rocky. Minister, this country deserves an update on Fort Rocky. This parliament deserves an update. Yes. What's the current status of Fort Rocky, Honorable Minister? What environmental protections are now in place? What lessons have been learned? And why has the public heard so little from the government regarding this issue? Fort Rocky is just one example of why we need an independent environmental protection agency. Because sometimes the bad actor and chief environmental degrader is the government itself. It was agents of the state who bulldozed the sand dunes and cleared mangroves at Fort Rocky, amplifying vulnerabilities in Port Royal without any approval from the KCMC. Yeah. Fort Rocky sits in the Palisadoes Port Royal protected area. It is a wetland of international importance under the United Nations Ramsar Convention. It's full-time Jamaica hears from the minister regarding what rehabilitation has taken place at Fort Rocky. Mr. Speaker, I also wish to address another issue on which the silence of the Environment Minister has been noticeable, and that is oil exploration. The country deserves some amount of clarity or a conversation. What is the environmental position regarding offshore oil exploration? What marine risk frameworks exist? What spill response capacity exists or will be built? What environmental liability regime exists? What protection exists for fisheries and tourism, and what consultation have been had with those stakeholders? What consultation has occurred with coastal communities? What insurance requirements would apply? What independent scientific assessments have been completed? Or is it a good excuse that NEPA is not in the Ministry of Environment, so it's NEPA's responsibility? Mr. Speaker, I am not here to say Jamaica should never examine economic opportunities as they arise. I'm here to say that the country deserves clarity before irreversible decisions are made, and we deserve to be a part of the conversations and the decision. Because environmental governance is no longer merely a moral issue. Increasingly, it is a legal and financial risk issue. Globally, governments and corporations are increasingly facing climate litigation, biodiversity litigation, pollution liability claims, failure to regulate actions, and intergenerational environmental justice claims. And so Jamaica must ensure that any future extractive activity is governed by strong, independent regulation, robust environmental standards, transparent scientific review, modern liability frameworks, and enforceable polluter pays principles governed by an independent environmental regulator. This House must understand that drilling and associated industries has the potential to move us from a minor contributor to global warming to a major contributor, opening us up to emerging litigation and claims. Mr. Speaker, the world is changing. Environmental protection is no longer peripheral to development. It is central to investment credibility, climate financing, public trust, and national survival. Mr. Speaker, I want to talk briefly about the shelters, if I'm allowed. Recent discussions regarding shelters should force us to confront the larger problem we're facing. Climate resilience is not only about weather forecasting, it is about preparedness capacity. And these issues no longer fit neatly inside one ministry, because climate resilience itself no longer fits inside one ministry. So while we continue to contemplate the fact that billions in unspent donations from Hurricanes Beryl and Melissa continue to sit at ODPEM, we must ask ourselves, are our shelters ready? Are they adequately distributed? Are they accessible to persons with disabilities? Do they have backup power, water storage and water purification, sanitation, telecommunication resilience? Mr. Speaker, we are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the hurricane season. Hundreds of millions of donor funds sitting unspent. And about 50% of our shelters are unprepared for a strong breeze, let alone a major hurricane. Mr. Speaker, climate resilience is now inseparable from national security, public health, and economic stability. And that is why I believe Jamaica must adopt a mandatory national climate risk screening framework for major public infrastructure projects. We're not talking about JSRAT. We're not talking about JSRAT, because in a climate vulnerable island, every road is climate policy. Every bridge is climate policy. Every drainage system is climate policy. Every housing development is climate policy. We're not talking about mapping what infrastructure exists, Mr. Speaker. We're saying every time that book comes to Parliament for us to approve a budget, we should get something saying, yes, these have been climate checked, so you can go ahead and approve. Climate resilience cannot be something we check. Yesterday, Mr. Speaker, you silenced our members.
Reclaiming my time. Just on a point of clarification. Under the FAA Act, there is a process called PIAB. For you to get a capital allocation, you must be approved by the PIAB. The PIAB reviews every investment for climate change efficacy. It means every climate change, every investment in capital works is indeed climate screen. So he's calling for something that already exists, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue building 20th century infrastructure for 21st century concerns. The collapse of roads and bridges during periods of heavy rainfall should remind us that climate resilience is not theoretical. Too many roads repeatedly fail. Too many drains repeatedly overflow. Too many retaining walls repeatedly collapse. Too many communities repeatedly become isolated, Mr. Speaker. And if the roads leading to St. Thomas that had some failure after some heavy rain recently went through their assessment, we need a new assessment framework. Every failed road and flooded community represents not merely an engineering problem, but a climate and fiscal problem. No major public infrastructure project should proceed, and no budget should come through this parliament without us being able to interrogate whether it has been climate screened. Mr. Speaker, in central St. Mary, I see the realities of climate vulnerability every single day. I see our roads collapsing after heavy rainfall. I see communities cut off, drainage failures, farmers worried about rainfall patterns. I see coastal vulnerability. And I'm reminded constantly that climate resilience is not abstract. It is personal. It affects livelihoods, education, health, employment, investment. Mr. Speaker, bad roads kill communities. Yes. Simple issues left unattended become major problems and significantly compromise quality of life. Environmental and infrastructure neglect kills opportunity. And our response must not be performative. It must not be temporary. It must not be political. It must be urgent. Yes. And so while people might be patient if they are given an update on when a bridge like the Trinity Bridge will be replaced, it is harder to accept why a government would not even respond to the safety concerns presented by a huge cavity on the road leading to Marlborough, widening daily, threatening to cut off large communities. Again, the response must not be performative. It must not be temporary. It must not be political. It must be urgent. Mr. Speaker, there are moments in the life of every nation when it must decide what it values. Whether short-term convenience will outweigh long-term survival. Whether public resources belong to all the people or only a few. This is one of those moments, Mr. Speaker. We must decide whether some representatives can aggressively advocate or whether some representatives must be quiet and hope that something will fall on their lap. This is one of those moments. The Jamaica we hand over to our children is being shaped right now by the decisions we make, by the laws we pass in this honorable house, by the systems we tolerate, the courage we demonstrate. Madam Speaker, we are a small island developing state. But we're not powerless. No. We can build a cleaner Jamaica, a more resilient Jamaica, a fairer Jamaica, a Jamaica where development and environmental protection move together, a Jamaica where ordinary people can access their beaches, can drink clean water, can breathe cleaner air, and live with dignity. But that future requires more than talk. It requires courage. It requires honesty. It requires enforcement. It requires planning. And importantly, it requires vision, because without vision, our people continue to perish. Mr. Speaker, the environment is not a luxury. It is life itself. And if we fail to protect it, history will never forgive us. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
House Leader.
Well done. Well done, Mr. Omar Newell. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Newell's first sectorial presentation. I hope you enjoyed it. For those who missed it, I believe he did a good job, though he was trying to be thrown off by Nestor Morgan, you could see that the Laborites were trying to throw him off. We saw Samuda trying. We saw this speaker, the deputy speaker of the House himself, trying to prevent Mr. Newell from executing. But despite the odds, he had the support from the opposition. It was just an amazing thing to see Philip Paulwell, as the leader of opposition business, standing up to defend. I saw Mr. Michael Phillips getting up to also defend. We saw Isaac Buchanan teaching them the law, the Laborites the law, because they don't seem to have any legal sense. It was just really good to see the opposition, and of course Nikisha Burchell there in the background, ensuring that the confidence of Mr. Newell was never broken, and I could see him getting the support from the opposition, and I can appreciate that. So well done, Mr. Newell. You are a guest here on The Perspective, and we are proud of you. We're gonna head to our first break, probably our first and only break, because we do have some other things to touch, and we're gonna touch them tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, we soon come. Remember to like the live.
And Protherapy, we are here to help you to bring ultimate relaxation to your feet. Our hot stone, Swedish, and deep tissue massage services are here to help you to get rid of tensions, minor swellings, and aches and pain, increase flexibility and circulation. If you are having any heart or circulatory diseases, then this might not be for you. Reach out to us and let's see if you can secure yourself with a foot massage for as low as $4,500. Thank you for choosing Pearl Therapy, the healing hub.
Pre's Petty and Hair Care Mobile Services, where we provide gel, male and kids pedicure. We also offer locks, kids and natural hairstyling services right in the convenience of your own home. For appointments, please contact us at 1-876-507-7484. Remember, we'll take care of you, not only the crown of your head, but also the soles of your feet.
Are you frustrated with your skincare? Are you tired of acne, blemishes, scars, sagging skin, wrinkles, discoloration? Why not enjoy our wide array of products, from skin, hair, and personal care? Place your frustration on our shoulders, and we will get you smiling again. The power of our products are in our formulation and ingredients. Listen to our customer testimonial. This is what she has to say.
Oh my gosh, look at my face. I've been using these products for a year, exactly 1 year. If you have not tried them, you need to try them. They really work. Look at my skin.
Visit our website or contact us at 917-557-6204. Make it Tony and Organics and order yours today.
Food is designed to be felt, not just tasted. Soft warmth, gentle richness, a harmony that melts effortlessly on the tongue. At Cummings Exquisite Caterers, every dish is an invitation, guided by passion, finished with elegance. We cater for life's most meaningful moments, elegant weddings, private celebrations, and much more. With a serene repast center just 10 minutes away from 2 major cemeteries. We are located at 38 Dublin Spanish Town Road. Reach out to us, 876-573-9124.
Cummings Exquisite Caterers, where design. Our first social media question tonight comes from Instagram. Shania in Kingston. She says, low voter turnout suppresses the effectiveness of a democratic society. Many Jamaicans refuse to vote because they believe both parties are corrupt. What would you say to the significant population of non-voters? And if elected, how will you hold politicians accountable for offenses against the people instead of protecting them?
So in this instance, the question, you have 90 seconds to answer, and we begin with Dr. Holness.
Corruption is a serious problem in our country, and corruption requires strong leadership. From my position as Prime Minister, I have taken action against any member of my political party that has been involved or accused of anything that suggests corruption. In my own case, I have been investigated for a year with an expert forensic auditor. The findings of that report have suggested no corruption. There have been no charges. Every aspect of my report, every aspect of my personal life and my personal financial details are in the public domain. I am the politician about which Jamaica knows the most. And therefore, I am the politician who can stand with the greatest moral authority to treat with any matter that is considered corrupt, as I have done in the past. And I want to give this assurance to the Jamaican people that you know me, you know about me, you can trust me, and you know that I stand against corruption.
Mr. Golding has the opportunity to respond to that social media question as well.
Andrew, what they know about you is that you have 28 bank accounts, that you received several $1 million in cash deposits from anonymous donors in your bank account, that your companies had transactions of over $400 million, several thousand transactions between them, and that Positive Jamaica Foundation, a non-profit which you are intimately connected with, provided resources which you use for personal investments through your personal company. We have signed the Leadership Code of Conduct developed by Integrity Commission. All of our spokespersons and myself have signed. None of your people have signed it. I am committed to ensuring that all members of the executive, when we form government, will have their Integrity Commission declarations published, not just the leader of the opposition and what should happen, but hasn't happened in your case because you're not certified, the Prime Minister. So the whole question that has been asked is an excellent question. And we really need to step up our vigilance against corrupt behavior, nepotism and cronyism. The volume of scandals under this Jamaica Labour Party government is unprecedented. Over the number of ministers who have had to be removed from frontline duty, many of them parked in the naughty corner in OPM rather than being sacked. It is a disgrace to the country, and your personal situation where you're operating under a deep cloud because your Integrity Commission declarations are not certified, also is something which Jamaica cannot go forward with.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope that you are doing well. Please remember to touch the like button, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, share the platform, recommend it to a friend. Jamaica secures US $200 million hurricane bond, bigger than expected. Here is our financial minister, ladies and gentlemen, or should I say the financial minister that is just the face of the Ministry of Finance. Thank you, Joanta, for the $2 in the chat. Thank you for supporting the super chat. Ladies and gentlemen, feel free to support the super chat. Get the likes up, get the likes up. We need to get the likes up. Now we are hearing some news from the minister saying that Jamaica has secured a $200 million in Parliamentary hurricane insurance through a World Bank issued catastrophe bond. The bond is US $50 million, more than the government had initially sought after. Global institutional investors oversubscribed the offering. According to a World Bank press release, the bond replaces coverage that was fully paid out to Jamaica following Hurricane Melissa, which struck the island in October 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, I am not going to get up and celebrate the grand announcements coming from this government, because if it is one thing that I have realized is that this government will get trillions of dollars and not a dollar goes to the poor. They will come and talk about they get this loan, that loan, that bond, this bond, and I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, well, we have the Auditor General report to show that these people will sit on billions of dollars and none of it will get to the people. So I'm not sure why all of a sudden we are hearing all of these people now coming out and talking about this and talking about that. They're talking about all Senator Morgan, modular homes and modular this and modular that. Let us delve into it, ladies and gentlemen. Let us delve into the fray. Let us read the article. So Jamaica secures US 200 million hurricane bond. Here's what they're saying. The bond US 50 million, more than the government had initially sought after global institutional investors, oversubscribed the offering according to a World Bank press release. The bond replaces coverage that was fully paid out to Jamaica following Hurricane Melissa, which struck the island in 2025 October. This is Favour talking now, Favour Williams. Having disaster risk financing in place is a key pillar of our resilience building framework, Finance Minister Favour Williams said in a statement carried in the World Bank press release. The catastrophe bond is an important piece ensuring capital market access for Jamaica. The bond was oversubscribed, meaning investor demand exceeded the amount on offer, which allowed Jamaica to upsize the transaction from its initial target of US 150 million to 200 million US. The bond priced on May 18 with settlement scheduled for May 26, days before the Atlantic hurricane season opens on June 1st. The instrument uses a parametric trigger, meaning payouts are determined automatically by a storm's central pressure and tracked through predefined geographic boxes covering Jamaica and surrounding Caribbean Sea, rather than by a post-disaster damage assessment. So this bond, ladies and gentlemen, is not necessarily to help the people from Melissa, but peradventure the Caribbean or Jamaica should face impending danger regarding our weather patterns. That's when the bond will be triggered and we will get money out of it. So it is not going to be automatically spent on the people of Jamaica. It is under certain conditions. I hope the people are following me tonight. Like up the live, ladies and gentlemen, because here comes the Muppet Show, ladies and gentlemen. Here comes the Muppet Show, ladies and gentlemen. You can only access this money according to the parametric trigger that is put in place. The World Bank said that the parametric triggers on the 2024 bond were met by Hurricane Melissa delivering rapid financial support after the storm. Where World Bank? Remember that World Bank are friends with the Andrew Holness administration, Was it the lady from the World Bank who said that this was a world-leading response from the Andrew Holness administration? Remember when everybody was complaining that this government was slow and their response was subpar? All of a sudden, the friends from the World Bank come out and say it is a world-leading response from Andrew Holness and his friends. So I am not surprised that the World Bank is now going to come out and play PR politics because Jamaica is flogging this government because they have not been spending the donation money. All of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, we are secure bond. Let's go on and dive deeper into the matter. So World Bank is saying that there was rapid financial support after the storm. The bond carries a risk margin of 6.75% per annum and matures on May 23, 2030, providing 4 hurricane seasons of coverage. It was issued under the World Bank's Capital at Risk Notes program, under which the government of Jamaica pays a premium for coverage based on terms achieved in capital markets. The bond will be listed on the Singapore Exchange. Investors were drawn predominantly from Europe, 42%, and North America, 41%, with Bermuda accounting for 16% and Asia and Australia, 1%. Specialist insurance-linked securities funds took 69% of the deal, asset managers 25%, and insurers and reinsurers 6%. On securities and Swiss Re capital markets acted as joint structuring agents and book runners, while Moody's MRMs served as risk modeler and calculation agent. So in essence, ladies and gentlemen, this bond will only be triggered if we buck up upon another hurricane and if the damage is projected to be at a certain level. So what is it really that Madam Favour Williams is coming out to tell us about? And what rapid financial assistance did we get from this government? And why is it not being communicated clearly that most of the financial support that we've been getting in the form of bonds and this and that, they are really and truly loans? When this government is not encouraging productivity, when he is destroying the local economy, how can we expect, ladies and gentlemen, this country to be able to repay all of these loans? We're going to see taxes being increased again. You know, you have to say, ladies and gentlemen, taxes are going to increase again. Jamaica, be ready to pay back all of them the US dollars there. I can tell you that. Because all this government is doing is collecting millions of US dollars, enriching themselves. They have their agendas, and we have to go turn around and pay it back. Talking about we were able to finance relief efforts, strong financial assistance. Rubbish. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to listen to just how dangerous and how disgusting our country has become because of a statement that was made by the Prime Minister. Who remembered when the Prime Minister of this country said that you're going to either meet your judge or your maker? And before I even go to that matter, because we know time is running, I am appealing again to the donors. You need to demand of this government to show you what they have done with the monies collected. It cannot be, ladies and gentlemen, that we are getting loan after loan, donation money after donation money. Twice he said it, Jackie Walford. It cannot be that we are getting all of this money and the people are still suffering. It's a disgrace. But listen to the PNP women's movement, ladies and gentlemen.
Should be made to meet their maker just because a policeman believes that they are doing wrong. Even if they are doing wrong, they must face the court. That's why we have a justice system. And we have a problem with the justice system. Let's make the justice system work. Let's make it work. Right?
Just one question, you touched on it briefly, but I see this sort of cynicism creeping into the public discussion when matters of police shootings come up. So people simply just juxtapose it with the declining murder rate as almost of a justification to say, well, the murder rate is going down, so the police must be doing something right. So how do you respond to that kind of cynicism?
Well, I would say to you, if you're going to add up all of our people who died in violent situations last year, we have just under 1,000, mostly young men. 600 and...
Ladies and gentlemen, it was the Andrew Holness led administration that has plunged Jamaica into chaos. See the Labour rights now filling up the chat. See the Labour rights filling up the chat. But I've been asking for you people from this afternoon, because it is your administration. It is your administration that has plunged Jamaica into chaos. Your Prime Minister told the people without proper context, without clarity, that the people should either meet their judge or meet their maker. And what we've been seeing from the JCF, ladies and gentlemen, what we have been seeing from the JCF is a killing spree brought to you by the Andrew Holness led administration. The truth is, ladies and gentlemen, if it weren't for the divisive nature of the Andrew Holness administration, the country wouldn't have been plunged into chaos like what we're seeing today. Chaos that we've never seen before. Confusion that is unprecedented. So much so that even Labour rights are calling out the Prime Minister on this matter. What will you Labour rights say when you all begin to tear up each other? Because it is coming. Remember the story of Gideon. Remember the story of the enemies who tried to wage war against the people of God. And there was a confusion in the camp of the enemy, ladies and gentlemen. They started to turn on themselves. I'm going to give you guys a heads up. Please to turn up your device for this clip, because the Labour right is low. But I want the Labour rights to listen what splitting justice sounds like, and what putting aside politics sound like. And when they need to call out wrong, you call it out. This is what it sounds like, ladies and gentlemen.
You say if you can't fix this, what happened to Buju and what happened to the Jamaican people, mark my word, you will never win another election. You will come out just like how you see Siaga did in there and have a step down. Maybe.
Aim. Sakata. We are mash up, you know. Fire under the Holy Ghost. Every crisis, every condition, every operation of hell. Fire, Bishop.
Yes. You say if you can't fix this, what happened to Buju and what happened to the Jamaican people, mark my word, you will never win another election. You will come out just like how you see Siaga did in there and have a step down. Maybe you don't realize you inherit that from Siaga. I never did Bruce in a show. You're never ready, right? So Bruce get it. But now that you get it from Bruce, because now them see where you could have take it on. This is what you stand up and watch it happening over the Jamaican people. And you sanction it. Well, let me tell you something. It could have been me who defend people. All right? Who stand up for people. Right? Just like I stand up for Jaden Smith. I could have did me. But let me tell you something, Andrew Holness. As a Labour right. Me a Labour right before you. Let me tell you that. Because I'm older than you. I mean in politics from I'm 14. If you cannot fix this publicly, internationally, with the Jamaican people and the wider diaspora, you cannot represent Jamaica after this 4th year. Right? You get 5 year, you get 4 year to fix this. You get 4 years to fix this. And if you can't fix Buju's situation now as an activist or as a people, whether I did PMP or I did labor right, it is human rights. I want to take the rights of the people them and feel like say untouchable and God Almighty. But I'm telling you something. This need to fix. This could not happen at Edward Siaga. Watch. Couldn't. I remember when Jamaica did a run this way already. And Siaga fixed that after the 80s election. Well, me I going to tell you now, you, Andrew Holness, need to fix this. You cannot give the police so much power and talk about them going to meet them maker. You know who? You know who? Yes, if a man doing criminal act and want to catch him in the line of act, fair enough. Fair enough if you're not defending your life. If you're not defending your life. Right? But none of them are behavior here. None of them are behavior here. We not kill out the young people them. So we're going to take over. This is a plot to destroy Jamaica. Kill out the men. The country must fall. Because the man them fall. Watch on yourself, you know. Because God sit high and look long low, you know. Watch yourself, you know, Mr. Holness. Watch yourself, you know, on the Illuminati movement, so I'm making, you know. Watch on yourself. Watch how not try to please the Illuminati against on people and humanity. Watch. You can't come kill me, you know. But me say when me see already and it done. You, if you don't fix this, you mark my word. Just like I'm tell you, you're going to become the Prime Minister. Mark my word, if you don't fix this, you will never win another election. You'll have to just pack your bag and go. Or make somebody step down and take over from you. You hear me, I warn you? You better fix this. Me I tell you this, you know. This deep, you know, you better fix this. Else you're going to see the repercussion of this. This is a wake-up call. Okay.
So them on fire. And if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say, pop, 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 pop. Lord God. Badam, bam, bam, bam. Jesus Christ. What is what pop? Pop, pop, pop. Jesus Christ, war tonight, Bishop. Warfare tonight. Warfare. Badam, bam, bam, bam. Boom, boom.
Labor rights, I can't talk to no. Cause me in my orange shirt tonight, you know. Me in my orange shirt tonight. Me in my orange shirt tonight. Because you people voted for this administration that has they have no problem with murdering innocent people in this country. I am asking the labor rights now because I want to phone on a call out the Prime Minister. What are you going to say to that labor right who say he is a labor right before the Prime Minister? What are you going to say to that labor right now? I want God to confuse the Jamaica Labour Party like never before. Name upon one another for true. Because when we talk and tell you people that this administration is not for the poor, they have plunged Jamaica into total chaos and nonsense. You don't want to hear it from us. Well, I hope you will hear it from him. You see, the man start fret for him life already. The man start fret for him life. The man say, no can kill me if you no want to kill me. Because he knows the nature of the Jamaica Labour Party. He knows the nature of the JLP. They will never be hesitant in taking you out for defying them. It's a disgrace, ladies and gentlemen. You people continue to vote for this administration. Look at the state of our country. Talking about modular homes. Talking about this and talking about that.
As the Atlantic hurricane season inches closer, the government is intensifying efforts to roll out over 2,500 modular homes to victims of Hurricane Melissa. 924 of the containerized units are currently in the island. But with thousands of people still homeless and millions of dollars in the government's coffers for hurricane victims, why did the program take so long? Kelisha Williams tells us more.
A race against time to provide housing for thousands of Hurricane Melissa victims. June 1st is the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season, and many of them are still homeless. After months of delay, these are a few of the containerized homes that the government will be distributing to those impacted.
So far, for the containerized units, we have 924 of the containerized units in Ireland, some in Spanish Town here, and some in Luana in St. Elizabeth, and some at the Mount Pelier. Both are JDF holding areas.
200 additional units will be donated by the government of China and 300 from the Red Cross. Minister with responsibility for land titling and settlement, Robert Montague, says initially 12,000 names were on the list to receive the units. However, after further assessments, they realized there were some duplications.
Where more than one person out of a family, out of a housing unit, made a report. It's not necessarily fraud, it was that the persons were just making reports. So when they cleaned the data and minus those, the duplication minus those who had rebuilt, we are down to approximately 2,500. So we have sufficient units, and even out of that, reports are that some persons have gotten assistance from other NGOs and are rebuilding.
But there are concerns over why the project took so long to get off the ground. And at the same time, the government has been facing increased scrutiny since the recent Auditor General report showed that it only spent 1.8% of Hurricane Melissa cash donations.
The Ministry of Local Government had started to build out the basis because we don't want to put these on the ground. An agency, one of the commenting agencies, rightfully made an observation with regards to environmental impact. We had to stop and correct that situation and restart. So it took a little while. And the units took a little while to get to Jamaica because we ran into the Chinese New Year situation. Then, so shipping was restricted.
Still, there's no clear timeline for when the units will be distributed. All Mr. Montague said was,
let me quote Bruce Golding, soon.
Kelisha Williams, TVJ News.
You hear that, ladies? That the only reassurance we can get from Bobby Montague, the only reassurance we can get from them is soon. No deadline. We don't know when these houses will be distributed. You know what my mind is telling me? They will not distribute these modular houses, and can I be very frank? I don't know how, you know what? Soon, Sandra Bennett. Soon. Remember, the hurricane season starts June 1st. And the only thing, after only 6 bases, after what, 7 months now? 7 months, it reached now, It reached now, Since Hurricane Melissa. And on the 20th of May 2026, the only words we are being given, ladies and gentlemen, is soon. Mighty God of Daniel, if this is not the most evil administration in the history of Jamaica, I don't know what is. Listen, if this is a good government, I don't want to see a bad one. Soon. Hurricane season is June 1st. And the only thing we can get from Bobby Montague is soon. But you know what my mind are telling me, ladies and gentlemen? Listen, this is my opinion. I have the right to tell you. And so I'm start calling Mr. Bobby Montague Mr. Soon. Mr. Soon. You cannot make this up. This is what the man said. This is what the man said. The man said soon. But you know what my mind tell me? The Jamaica Labour Party made promises to some of their supporters. And this is my opinion. This is my opinion. I strongly believe that they are not quick to distribute these modular homes because they have to share out and dish up and share up for them, friend them, for who are going to take them and rent them out, for who are going, ladies and gentlemen, just hear me out now, man. Hear me out now, ladies and gentlemen. Proper assessment is needed because them have to share them up and go through who forget what and who forget this. And the poor people are going to get them here, ladies and gentlemen. I see a scandal loading. Every time I see a scandal loading, is a scandal fully loaded. I see a San Andrea Burke, these modular housing solutions, from my purview, the reason why they cannot be distributed are because of the labor rights. I challenge this administration to give out these modular housing solutions down at the PNP strongholds, down at Westmoreland first, where the hurricane made landfall. I challenge this government to go link up Ian Hales, Dayton Campbell, and the Better Vars. I challenge this government to make a stop down by Westmoreland first. And don't tell me that you sit down how long. And you come and talk about soon. And you know what I find very interesting, ladies and gentlemen? Look at what they are giving the people to. Look at what they are giving the people to. I see somebody in the chat say a dog house them there. Dog house. Wouldn't a good government, ladies and gentlemen, build some proper homes for the people? Who remembered Dr. Dayton Campbell's Adopt a Family initiative? And who remembered the home that was built for the mother and her children? Who remembered the concrete structure that the PNP MP built for the woman and her children? And look at what this government is going to squeeze up the people like sardine in a sardine tin. God forbid you soon hear that a down payment have to pay. You soon hear who can qualify if you get it. You soon hear who not upon needs or some identification system. You soon hear them ask who you did vote for. Remember me did tell you, ladies and gentlemen. You soon start hear the price. You soon start here so nobody no want them, so them have to sell them. You soon start here, ladies and gentlemen, the conditions that are applied for you to get one of these structures. The soon scandal, Karel Banta. You know, she says a scandal loaded.
Sakata. We are mash up, you know. Fire. Under the Holy Ghost, every crisis, every condition, every operation of hell Fire, fire, Bishop. I got your back. Fire, fire. Jesus Christ, watch the operation. Watch the operation. Jesus Christ, Eastwood Park Road. Come, come. Come on. Cover your pastor. Cover your pastor. Go in, Bishop. Go in. Go in, Bishop. Take down the Illuminati.
Westmoreland was supposed to get 75 and they bring it down to 50. Now it's going to be 20 and only 6 stand built so far, or 6 bases built so far. The mayor for Westmoreland was on Mr. Bell program earlier. You know, hear this, ladies and gentlemen. You hear our warning, ladies and gentlemen, that this is a scandal loading and a labor rights are going to get them here. You see, you hear the soon scandal that is coming very soon. If we don't watch these modular housing solutions, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't watch these housing solutions, ladies and gentlemen, a system is going to be put in place whereas only certain people can qualify. Forget it. Make me cry out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. And speaking about housing, they are going to NHT because 60 billion over the next 5 years. The House approves the bill to continue the NHT drawdown. Nobody now benefit from NHT again. And them gone in a NHT again. Using NHT to do everything else but to build proper homes for the people of this country. They are trying, ladies and gentlemen, to destroy, to wreck. It is robbery, you know. It is robbery, you know. I would tell people to stop contributing to NHT at this point in time. It is so sad, but that is what they want. They want to frustrate the people. They want to continue this. So when the people stop contributing to NHT, they crash it and start their own legacy project. Because everything that the PNP has built, ladies and gentlemen, don't you recognize the aim of the Prime Minister? It is to wipe out, to destroy everything that the People's National Party has built. Here Marshy calling. Marshy may be the only caller I can take tonight. Go ahead, Marshy.
Yes. Perry, you read the game, you know. But you see them out, sir?
Yes.
Be careful. They might work it. That's a through the NHP you get them, you know. And not through the hurricane release thing.
My God.
Be careful of them. But knowing the tricks that this government did. Bobby Montague, talk about soon. It was Bobby Montague get $30 million for you buy used car for police and the well I car then can't come yet. Soon, those cars won't come.
Soon.
Soon, the car them can't come. The other criminal one get how much $1 million for you buy bus. And you could only buy half of the bus. The next half can't come. Soon. But look, the Prime Minister promised that his first budget is going to put 2,500 on the minimum wage. Soon. When he do promise, when he finally say I'm going to give it, it's $1,000 I'm going to give. And when the $1,000 will come?
Soon.
And you know the one, this thing will come quick?
Which one?
Prices.
Yes.
Prices then come quick, man. The prices they never wait, you know.
No.
The prices were very early.
Very early.
Couldn't wait too soon, right? So be careful. The hurricane relief house, be careful, they might switch to it and tell you that it's true the NHP you go and get them.
True.
And you can look out to anything from the JLP.
Anything.
Soon. And from Bobby man take you do it. Bobby, me not trust you because you can't bring the used car then come. You give your friend the money and the money gone. And which friend you are going to do this with now? Don't trust it.
Hey.
And I'm going to pick out some labor right at Westmoreland to give the house them.
Yes.
That's on the plan. That's on the plan. Hey, let me tell you something, you know. Me trade down, you know. When me want to call the name Jesus, you know, me tremble, you know, because me no want to tell me say Jesus is coming. Because you know so lie. That night I lie, not tell say Jesus is coming. Can't trust you, no. Me can't trust you, no. And let me tell you something. Jesus himself, you know, so me never put confidence in nobody.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe Jesus will come already, you know, because I'm coming soon and so on. But not come yet, you know, the way all JLP is a thief. Maybe they are robbing when he come here.
Lord Jesus is coming back soon.
Soon.
Fire. And if the enemy are fire, you can't stand up like stooge. You can't go on like a fool. You have to fire back. Somebody load up and say, pop, 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 pop. Lord God, badam, bam, bam, bam.
Lord of mercy. Bless you, Marshy. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm touching and going, but you know, it is so embarrassing though. It is so embarrassing this state. You have to try and laugh in some, you know, dark times. Try and keep a smile on your face. But here is something to break my heart now. A man of unsound mind was beaten to death. Lord God. Listen to this, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. A man believed to be of unsound mind is now dead after a brutal mob attack in Southside Central Kingston. The incident, which stemmed from a dispute between the man and a woman in the area, has left his family heartbroken. Yannick Williams has the details.
46-year-old Margaret Burton, otherwise called Chungy, who was well known in Gold Street, was said to have battled mental illness for years. Relatives say despite his condition, he was generally peaceful and would interact well with residents when he was stable. However, they explained that there were times when his behavior would change due to his mental state. Reports indicate that on Monday morning, the man was walking behind a woman he often spoke to in the community. It is alleged that the woman picked up a stone and hit him. Residents say the man retaliated by throwing or using a stone to hit her back. That incident quickly escalated when a group of residents turned onto him, beating him mercilessly.
So my brother run come and a lot of people behind him. And I said, hold him. Then my neighbor right there come out and him grab him. Him take him inside the yard and lock the gate and them go on bad for let him out. Anyway, true. Him then I'm right state of mind because I think they want to carry him go Bellevue because I'm very scared of that. So him jump the house top. So when him jump the house top, somebody was over there waiting for him. Steel, knife, I don't think that's stab, but knife, steel, tennis, some rocket, something, iron thing. Them drop big stone in him head. So I beat him, I see them run out of one, all the stuff on Tower Street. Satana see it like this and he was just sitting there, they were just like beating him in the head, beat him. I'm just sitting there not doing nothing at all.
Family members say he was chased, beaten, and pounded repeatedly as the angry mob turned the community into a scene of horror. They allege that bricks were broken in his head and a piece of steel was pushed into his head during the attack.
Them say like, she fling a stone, must say I'm gonna walk behind and make up nice, and she fling a stone after him, and him fling back a stone and bump on the wall and catch her over her eye. And then she must call her big father and her friend them and our sister them and our cousin them, the whole of them. Him not let nobody. people always are doing my picnic things. You understand? People always are doing things.
The man was rushed to the Kingston Public Hospital in critical condition, where he later died from his injuries. The tragedy has once again sparked conversations about mental health, community violence, and the dangers of mob justice. The family is now seeking justice.
I want justice. I want justice because my son, him dead and me, remember some me have to go bury him now. You understand? So I want justice. I want justice. Them the world them go happen to everybody want to see pan.
As police continue their investigations, a family is left mourning a son, a brother, and a life they believed could have been saved. Yannick Williams, TVJ News.
Before I comment on that, let us all say thank you to Shanika for the $10 in the super chat. Thank you so much, Shanika. I appreciate your contributions. Thank you so much, Shanika. But listen, this is the reason why Dr. Dawes said in Parliament on Tuesday that we're doing Jamaicans a disservice when we have people of unsound mind, you know, no proper supervision, treatment, no nothing. We are harming ourselves as Jamaicans. And we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that was a merciless act. Beaten to death, breaking bricks in his head, running steel through his body. They call it jungle justice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is disturbing. It is disturbing though, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm saying, my God, Jamaica, the hearts of men, the hearts have become desperately wicked. If we had proper mechanisms in place, Yvonne Riley, to facilitate people with mental issues, mental challenges, he wouldn't have been in a position. Remember, Bellevue already failing, you know. Remember, Bellevue need help. So don't want anybody to tell me say him supposed to be at Bellevue. Are the conditions at Bellevue conducive to take on new patients? Is the staff up by Bellevue, are they treating the patients with any care? The amount of horror stories we've heard of negligence. Bring back the love, Opal Demetrius. Bring back the love. Bring back the love. God. Wow. I'm trying to understand. You know, we can take up some other matters on Clarion Call tomorrow. Join me at 3 p.m. tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. But before I go, I want to end by reminding us that Mr. Golden is not very happy with the FLA report not being tabled in Parliament. The Speaker of the House and Colleen Lowe, they are in Canada for 5 days. They're in Canada for 5 days. But the report is not being tabled in Parliament. And the PNP is demanding that it is being tabled. Listen to this.
The opposition's People's National Party continues to press the House Speaker to table the integrity report on the Firearm Licensing Authority FLA. The report, which was sent to Parliament on March 30, is being challenged by the FLA. But speaking at a press briefing a short while ago, the opposition contends that legal process has no bearing on the tabling of the report. Jamila Maitland reports.
Now, the press briefing, which ended a short while ago while the Parliament was still in session, included Opposition Leader Mark Golding, Leader of Opposition Business Philip Paulwell, and a spokesman on national security, Peter Bunting. Now, the trio are all accusing House Speaker Juliet Holness of suppressing a report that was sent by the Integrity Commission investigating the Firearm Licensing Authority.
To the Speaker's role to be an arbiter of what comes before the public and the Parliament in an Integrity Commission report. The Integrity Commission has a statutory purpose, which it is fulfilling by doing the investigation and issuing its report. The public has a right to know what's in that report. It is shocking that public resources are being deployed by a public body to undermine the transparency of a report by a central anti-corruption agency in the public sector, the Integrity Commission. There is no legitimate basis for holding back the tabling of that report. It is only mischief.
Notably, 4 other reports sent by the Integrity Commission were tabled in the Parliament today, but the one in question, which includes the Firearm Licensing Authority, was not. Leader of Opposition Business Philip Paulwell says he plans to ask the Speaker of the House about the issue. Meanwhile, Peter Bunting, who was former National Security Minister and had oversight for the FLA, says the report is expected to be damning. Now, we don't know the details of the report, but it's expected to uncover allegations of corruption, impropriety, and irregularities in the grant, variation, and revocation of firearm licenses and storage of firearms and ammunition at the FLA.
No, we'll be covering a much more current period. I expect sometime between the last report and now, which would be like in the last 5 to 7 years, I would guess, just from recollection. But what I can tell you, as spokesman on national security for much of that period, is that the stories coming out, the allegations coming out of what was happening at the Firearm Licensing Authority were scary and frustrating, and suppressing these reports essentially is preventing Parliament from exercising its constitutional responsibilities for oversight.
Reporting from Gordon House, I'm Jamila Maitland for TVJ News.
Release the report. Ladies and gentlemen, we cannot allow this government to continue on their shady agendas. They continue to try and block justice from prevailing. What is there in the report that is so damaging? We're standing with Mr. Golding on this, and not enough persons are talking about this. We need the report to be tabled in Parliament. Enough corruption is going unnoticed. This government has gotten away with so much, ladies and gentlemen. So much so yesterday Mark Golding had to walk out of Parliament. Release the report so that the people can know what is happening. And we're standing with Mr. Golding and the opposition. See you tomorrow at 3 p.m. for Clarion Call and at 6 p.m. for our evening program. Let us pray. Let us pray. Father, we give you thanks for your mercies. We give you thanks for your grace. We give you thanks for all that you've been doing. Thank you for the awesome presence that we feel every time we gather in this fashion. Lord, so much is happening in this country. Even the unsound mind, the man who was beaten to death. It must have been a gruesome sight to behold. And just the thought of it, to know that persons could mercilessly slaughter another human being in that way, is definitely a call for concern. Jamaica is in trouble. 2 weeks from now, or less than that, we have the hurricane season starting. The world is talking about El Nino. I believe that's it, where the world is just going to be getting hotter and hotter, and the experts have already came out and they've told us that weather will be unpredictable. We just don't know what will happen. Climate change is a reality. The homes are destroyed. The government is trying to PR their way out of scrutiny. But we say enough is enough. The NWA workers are about to protest. Protests are happening. I'm hearing on the ground that some persons in Granville are planning to take matters into their own hands through violent means. My God, what will Jamaica look like in the next couple of weeks? Who to tell if police officers will be targeted by perpetrators, and we don't know the chaos that can unfold. My God, if you don't intervene, Jamaica will become an even more bloody place. But Lord, we are looking to you and we're praying continually that you will intervene and that you will deal with us according to your grace and your mercy. But we need a change of government. We need a change of government. The people are fed up. The people are tired. The people are being oppressed. These and other mercies we ask. Bless those who give tonight, Shanika and the other individual. Return unto them 100-fold of what they've sown into this platform. As we look to you continually, in Jesus' name we pray. Amen. God bless you. God bless you. Jamaica is in trouble, you know. Jamaica is in trouble. Jamaica is in trouble. But I'll see you tomorrow for Clarion Call at 3 p.m. and at 6 p.m. for our evening program. God bless you, ladies and gentlemen. Walk good. Be safe. We'll continue some conversations tomorrow at 3 p.m. Bye-bye.
Respective family. Big up yourself every time Perry the General. Go and do it, comrade. The word is love. Where we are go do? Police them a kill off, use the tree on the roads. Where we are go do? The price gone up on the JLP let loose. Where we are go do? Times are hard and politicians don't have a clue. Where we are go do? Where we are go do? Aye, time for trust and keep the faith to help us win this race. Poor people now no food, all them see a empty plate. And the rich them getting richer, them fi burn up in the lake. Promises they make, but enough of them are fake. But black love divide, put politics aside. A time for we unite, a time for do the right. We have to start by speaking truth and not the lie. Perry set the trend, we have to unite. Pressure it a boil, farmers them a toil. And all our work them no see nothing at all. We can't segregate, we can't separate. Put aside the war, time for love not hate. Pressure it a boil, farmers them a toil. And all our work them no see nothing at all. We can't segregate, we can't separate. Put aside the war, time for love not hate. Hey. Wait, wait.
Lightning and thunder for the JLP. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. Always see a degradation. Innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them mashing the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. Now war fit the youth, them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg is hamping. Corruption in the nation. What a sticky situation. And we see a degradation. innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor. Tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them machine the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. No war fit the use, them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg you stop it. Corruption in the nation, what a sticky situation. Always see a degradation, innocent men at the station. Andrew and his cronies getting richer, them a big done. Talking about them helping out the poor, tell me which one. Juliet, a speaker of the house, me can't believe it. Them machine the housing trust, but people are go feel it. The JLP, them satanic and demonic. No war fit the use, them prosper only fit them pocket. I beg you stop it.
Well,